He bids me be joyful when I see so little to be joyful for. But joy, in the face of trouble, is the very soul of rebellion, that imp perverse refusal to frown at our torment, to bow to the fearful. Not the brainless gladness of good vibes only, but a vicious joy, a mocking joy, happiness that diminishes a pathetic oppressor, the gleeful preparation to celebrate their failure. Joy is a challenge when my native state is rage and my impulse is seriousness. I want to wage war, and war requires anger, or else I want to mourn those dying, those gone, those soon to be abandoned. Joy seems like a betrayal to make light of their troubles. But he bids me be joyful for those who can smile no longer, for those who will come after, for those who will be successful. He bids me steal happiness from those who would hoard it. And he gifts me the jester's smile, Punchinello's grin, the laughter of satire, and he reminds me, their joy is in destruction. Our joy is in creation. The villain kills their pleasures. Ours regrow from corpses. To set a thief to stop a thief is often recommended. But how does he who sponsors thieves become a home's defendant? He's surely not a forceful guard who will stop a thief with violence, nor much inclined to set a bar that seals off every entrance. If you prefer to stand your ground and seek a conflict's danger, he'll give you what you truly want and not oppose invaders. But should you ask for Hermes' ward to guard your home and fortune, so long as you aren't overproud, he'll grant unique protection. For as a god of diplomats, of tricksters and transmuters, his guardianship is indirect and turns aside intruders. He might discourage thieving eyes with muddling misdirection, like point them toward a richer prize or one with less protection. But thieves whose greed surpasses need, or brutes who welcome bloodshed, he'll render luckless, dull, and weak until they're apprehended. Since those who have the least to steal, most vulnerable to predation, are shielded by the god of thieves as not worth their attention. And after all, he's on thieves' side as god of lawless entry. He wouldn't want them thwarted by a home too well defended. So folk who seek his holy aid to shield their vulnerable treasures are nudged to keep their minds awake and mindful of their measures. Close doors, turn locks, hide keys and codes, don't flaunt your toys or riches, perhaps install alarms and bolts. Security's a system. The same applies to virtual space and vaults of information. He'll keep you focused on defense and scramble thieves' connections. As hackers know, the criminal mind is endlessly inventive. There's none more primed to thwart their kind than one who knows their methods. Thus, Hermes, noble criminal, is theft's best mediator. He's neutral as to mortal law, but folly's prosecutor. The god of roads does not begrudge our sprawling highways' reach, or mind our need to drive to every stop. But I can't see the traveling god content behind the wheel or cramped inside a rolling metal box. He walks the roads, not just because he's swifter than a car, especially when it's caught in traffic's clinch. I think most times he'd rather walk to stay in touch with Earth and sense the miles that drivers passing miss. Afoot, he need not heed the rules of crossing, stops, or lanes, can slow or turn or exit where he will, and unimpeded meets the world, its people, homes, and towns, to hear the many stories that they tell. Of course, he has the power of flight if roads are too constrained. He need not follow paths our choices draw. But with those roads we've built our lives and given them our faith, as threads connecting segments of our thoughts. The more the god of roads applies his feet to dirt or pave, the more he sees of striving and of strife, of congress, contest, commerce, crime, creation, and complaint, the ways we mortals navigate our time. Unarmored, Hermes walks the street and pities drivers' fears of lateness, weather, people, and police, their risk of deadly accidents, of breakdowns or flat tires, and costs to buy, maintain, repair, or lease. He wishes we might be relieved our need to drive the roads and find once more the joy and strength of feet, to leave our cars for truer needs, like cargo, show, and sport, or use their power for worship of pure speed. So when you can, debark the car and walk the roads unbound, to touch the ground and know what distance means, to grow your health, to know your power, to hear the outside sounds, to overcome your fear of neighbors' needs. And yes, I know that some can't walk or even steer a chair, and some are bound by law or cost from cars. It's not to them I make this call, nor seek to stir or shame, but rather those whose motion is unbarred. But most of all, do not expect to find the God of roads in bus or truck or four-wheel or sedan. If not above on wings and winds, he'll be at roadside's edge, a striving, steady, strong pedestrian. A God of the world who resides among us. Why should that matter so much? Most gods can descend to the world if they wish it, and many do regularly visit. But though they may deign to assume human form, they're still only visiting foreigners. Their homes yet remain in a place high above, or in other worlds low or far off. Though Hermes is titled a god of Olympus and also makes calls upon Hades, he rarely stays put in a single place long, so it's hard to call any place home. But the bulk of his work is traversing our world, so on average he's mostly on Earth. And he's known to enjoy spending time with our kind, so he's closer to us than Most High. Just a few live with us, Mother Gaia, of course, and then Rhea, Demeter, and Kore, plus children of theirs, Triptolemus and Plutos, and numerous daemons and nymphs. All of these others have pastoral natures. They're bound to the world by creation. But Hermes instead comes to Earth to see us. The nature that draws him is humans. His interests are social and things of the mind, our language, our business, our science. He finds us of value for things the gods aren't, transgressive, transmissive, and desperate. The world is a place of impermanent change, which humans attempt to arrange. We write to our future, we work for descendants, we plant what we never may harvest. And Hermes, the god of mercurial motion, the dreamer, the source of invention, inspires the human to alter our nature and cheers as we reach ever higher. So Hermes resides where the borderlines cross, where the possible reigns over stasis, rather than rest on a throne of perfection or rot in the tomb of tradition. Hermes is here in the world with us mortals more often than anywhere else, since here's where transition is proven most potent and worships in every improvement.